Hi everyone. On behalf of the St. Olaf College Republicans, I thank you all for coming to our event tonight. Our group, despite negative backlash, will continue to foster more inclusive conversations on important topics such as race and gender. We all know there are students on this campus who are not represented in the dialogue happening surrounding these topics, and we will always seek to represent them. So thank you to you all for being here and for promoting honest and inclusive discourse on this campus.
On April 24th, 2019, controversial Manhattan Institute fellow Heather McDonald gave a talk, The Diversity Delusion. On the same evening, Student Government Association Task Force Against Racism, STAR, hosted an event to foster further dialogue. We sat down with Tamira Fuentes to discuss her event 2 years later.
Yeah, my event was not a reactionary event towards Heather McDonald at all. That was not our intention. We didn't want to have that space filled with anger, resentment, and fear, because we wanted to have a productive, critical, analytical conversation about who we are and where we are as a community. You can't agree to disagree when it comes to human lives, especially when it comes to really serious topics of, when it comes to race.
2 years ago, race protests shook St. Olaf. Protests broke out because several threats were made against multiple students of color. What was an average Saturday night turned into a multi-day protest against institutional racism. The following Monday, after pressure from the student body, classes were canceled so students could meet with college officials to discuss policy changes. Since then, St. Olaf has struggled to reconcile differing ideologies and opinions. It is widely recognized that dialogue is necessary for progress, but this rarely occurs in the spaces it needs to, a fact which both sides of the ideological spectrum agree on.
And so I've seen small changes, but I've seen a lot of conversations that don't result in direct change, and that is probably one of the biggest concerns that I have.
We asked Winnie for her thoughts on Heather McDonald being invited to campus.
I don't think that that's progress. That's taking maybe 3-4 steps backwards.
I think the dialogue is important. I think the amount of dialogue that is occurring is really overbearing.
While there have been efforts made to increase dialogue among students, a disconnect remains.
The whole polarizing nature of everything is so intense to the point where, I don't like calling myself conservative.
Multiple conservative students interviewed with us, but requested to be anonymous. They feared judgment from their peers, which inhibits needed conversations.
You're not going to change anyone's mind by shutting them out. Understand their viewpoints, listen to them, find the cracks in them, point them out, try and have a healthy dialogue.
The reason why I don't think it's an example of progress, because I think we can sift out well-defined and well-meaning people out there who have opposing viewpoints. But if you bring somebody or people to campus that inflict fear and inflict hostility within a community, that's not progress.
How is diversity really being incorporated and woven into the St. Olaf image? How is it going to be interwoven into the Oli image? And that's where we don't know.
In an age where anger, resentment, and fear are widespread, productive dialogue is crucial to fostering a better understanding.